So let's continue with the business tax. What we're going to discuss today will be the essential business. So let's take a look at at the ordinance. In Part C of the business tax, we have the following statement: on exporters, manufacturers, producers, wholesalers, dealers, or retailers of essential commodities enumerated under on this section. So it means that if it's classified as essential, then we only take 1/2 of the business tax. Okay, so the essential business will be those engaging or selling rice and corn, wheat and flour. This list here. So these are classified as essential. So we only take the 1/2. Okay, to interpret this in the rules, we'll go to the rules here. Okay, now we will create a rule here. We'll create a rule. We'll go to the post business tax computation. This means that we will compute first the business tax in the business tax here. We'll compute the normal business tax first, and then if it's classified as essential, we will only take the 1/2 of it. Okay, so we'll create a new rule here. Actually, I have a template already, but for the purpose of letting you understand this, I'm gonna do this again. So we're gonna delete this first. Okay, now I suggest if you have the template already, just use the template. So click on new and we say BT essential. So this is for essential business. Okay, so click next. So add condition, line of business. So for each line of business, we'll take only those which are classified. So this will not be applicable to the services and the contractors. It only applies to the manufacturer, wholesaler, and retailer. So we'll choose only those classifications. So we'll say manufacturer, okay, wholesaler, okay, and retailer. Okay, so this is applicable to only the following. Okay, and then we have a special attribute which we call essential. So any line of business that we mark with attribute essential, we'll track that also. So let's say attributes here is any of the following. So we'll choose essential. So if it's marked as essential, you click it here. There. Okay. So this is the line of business. Line of business is classification is manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, and then it has an essential attribute. Now we'll also need the business tax account. Okay, so we'll mark this as BT. Then we have to have the line of business equals to LOB. Okay, so then we need the account, the amount also. Now, okay, we tag the amount here because we will need this particular variable for our formula, because this is the one that we will have. Okay, so that's the business tax account. Okay, so that's okay. So you must have this particular line of business, and then equals LOB. Right? Now we'll add the instead of the compute business tax, we'll do an update tax fee amount action. This means that we will change the amount. Okay, so we will use the BT, which is this one here in the back, this variable. Then we will use the amount that we specify, this one, we multiply it with 1/2, or this is the 1/2, or you can say 1/2. Okay, so it's the same effect. Okay, so that's it. We deploy. Okay, so basically that's done. So to test that, okay, so let's say we're gonna create a rice retailer. Okay, so we'll go to business here. go to business, line of business, we'll check here. Okay, I'm gonna add a rice retailer. Rice retailer. Okay, so the classification is retailer. Okay, now we'll save this first. Then next, we will add an attribute here. We will mark this as essential because rice is essential produce, right? So we'll add that, then just close this. Okay, so we'll test the assessment. Okay, we'll do an analyzer. Okay, so did we deploy this? No, we deployed. Okay, we deployed that already. Okay, so we'll add the rice retailer here. Rice retailer. Oops, sorry, I missed something. I will need to edit, no? So we'll just click on open and deploy first. We will edit this line of business because we will include the assessment type. This is only applicable to, this is not applicable to new. This is not applicable to renew and retire. Okay, so you include that also so that this will not be included in the new. So we'll deploy. Okay, so that's done. Rice retailer will specify renew, and then renew here, run assessment. So assuming that the retailer rules is 2.2%, remember? So let's say I'm gonna specify here 50,000. Okay, so the amount is 550. Okay, so how much? Why is that? That's retailer is based on the rules before, it's 2.2%. So I'm gonna get a calculator here, and then let's say 50,000 times 0.22. So that's 1,100 based on the regular rates. Right now, this is marked as, we mark this. Remember, we add the line of business here, we tag it with essential. That's why it's only half. So that's why if you need to have only the amount, if you need to identify the thing that you need to do is identify the lines of business here that are essential, and then mark it with essential. Like for example, drugstore. So you open drugstore and you check, there's no attribute here, right? So let's try to add a drugstore here. So if it's a drugstore, okay, and then I'll check, make this renew, I'll run assessment, I'll make this here, I'm gonna do 50,000 here. So this should be 1,100, right? Because we have not tagged this yet to essential. Now what we will do is we open the drugstore here and then tag this with an essential attribute. Okay, so it's already tagged. Now we'll run the analyzer again. Next. So instead of 1,100, it's only 550 because we tag it with essential. So that's the effect of tagging line of business. Actually, the tags here, you can use this in the rules, whether it's the classification or the tag. So that's very useful for cross classifications. Okay, so this helps you by not making too many rules. This is very straightforward and easy to understand. Okay, and it takes effect on whatever you desire, the desired result. Okay, so basically that's it for the essential. Now let's have another rule here, which is we'll go to the summary here. Now we're gonna remove business for some of the lines of business do not have business tax. Like for example, gasoline stations, they do not have business tax. So I'm just gonna remove this. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. Okay, so we'll try a rule here, new. So no business tax. Remove BT. So this is the rule. We will remove the business tax for those with an attribute no business tax. Okay, so next, so we'll just add here the line of business. Okay, then what we need to do is the attributes. In the attributes portion, we need to mark the no business tax attribute here. Click. Okay, so we use the no business tax. Okay, so any line of business that has an attribute of no business tax. Next, we'll add the business tax account here, BT. So the line of business must be there, equals LOB. Okay, there. So line of business equals LOB. Okay, what we will need to do is to do a remove tax fee account. Next, and then we have the remove tax fee account. Okay. So what this does is, if the line of business has a no business tax, then we will remove the business tax. Okay, so we deploy. Okay, we'll try to test. Okay, add first a line of business that has no business tax. For example, gasoline station. So let's say new gasoline station. Okay, so we'll normally a gasoline station is a retailer. Okay, that's a retailer rate. So we'll click save, and then we'll add no business tax, attribute. Okay, so that's done. Now we'll try to add a gasoline station here. Okay, so we'll try to new or renew, doesn't matter. We'll run the assessment here. So we'll specify the gross 500,000 for example, and then click next. Now there should be an error, no tax fees found, because there's no business tax for gasoline station right now. But if I remove the attribute here, if I remove the attribute, I remove it, yes, then fire the rules. Normally there's a business tax, right? But if you add attribute, add no business tax, then right then there'll be no business tax. So basically that's it. Okay, so that's for those that have no business tax. So okay, another classification where it does not, another scenario where it does not have a business tax is if it's a cooperative or any non-profit business. Okay, so we'll create here no business tax, no BT, remove BT for cooperative. Okay, so we'll just copy this. Next, so this is applied not only to cooperatives but almost all classifications, non-profit. Okay, so we'll click the add. Now we'll need a new fact here, which is the BT application, because the information of the organization is there. So we'll click on organization type. So if the organization type is any of the following, so we'll say co-op, it might be religious, it might be a foundation, it might be a government or a school. So if any of the following, yes, if any of the following, then we'll remove the business tax. Okay, so we will add also the business tax account here. Okay, so that will be any business tax account that's related. So regardless of line of business here, so if you have 3 lines of business and 3 separate business taxes, all will be removed. Okay, so let's say add action, remove tax fee. Okay, we're gonna remove the BT here. Okay, so this is the rule here, application, and then remove. Okay, so we'll deploy. Okay, so we'll test. Okay, so let's assume that there's drugstore. Okay, for a normal drugstore here, run assessment. Okay, next, assuming there's no, not capital, I'm gonna use a renew here. Okay, run assessment. Next, let's say 500,000. So this will be the above 400,000. So this is the tax for a drugstore. Let's assume that a cooperative is running this drugstore. Okay, so we'll just choose cooperative here, the organization type, and it's a drugstore. So if it's a single proprietor, then there will be a tax. But if the cooperative is running the drugstore, then there should be no tax. So let's run this. Next, and then fire. So there should be no business tax found. Okay, so basically it's that easy. All you need to do is to analyze your rules, and then understand the basic of the rules, and then make the desired rules for that. Okay, so basically that's it for now. You follow up for the next series, part 3 of the business computation.